If you're watching this, I highly doubt that I am the only agent or only broker that you follow on social media. And I'll bet that since Friday, you've seen a lot of griping, a lot of complaining, a lot of name calling about the National Association of Realtor Settlement. And do I agree with what all these agents are saying? 100% and wholeheartedly I do. But I don't think it's healthy or wise to focus on things that are outside of our control that already happened. What we need to focus on is how to engage in the market in what's going to be a very uncertain marketplace over in the near future, call it the next 12 months, how to engage in that marketplace to make it so that consumers like you come out ahead in a space where the variance between, to put it callously, the winners and the losers, which have always been a thing in real estate, the variance among those two are going to expand in light of what recently happened. So who you work with matters more than ever. Now, I do have some opinions on some recent changes. The big kahuna being that buyer's agent commissions are no longer going to be offered through the MLS. That BAC was recently changed to BBC for buyer brokerage compensation. And that going away as an MLS offering, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm about to hit my 14-year anniversary in the business. I've sold hundreds of houses, and just to share their perspective of how I used to present that significant portion, half of my fees to sellers, the more inquisitive ones that would ask me about it and say, gosh, that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense that I need to pay that. It was a complicated conversation sometimes that for me would come down to explaining market forces. And the way that I would do that, I would draw a specific radius around the house and show what BAC, that's what it was called at the time, was offered on each individual house to show market norms. A shakeup of those market norms is not exactly a bad thing, but I hate to burst everyone's bubble. Nothing's actually going to change from this mechanically. It's a big paper shuffle where the sourcing of the same thing happening, that is sellers paying buyer broker fees, the lion's share of the time, the vast majority of the time, that's not going to change. That's going to continue to be a thing. But the change is that that's going to be negotiated on an individualized basis. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. Also not new. This is how it works in commercial real estate and always has. So for some agents out there, like I recently read that 49% of agents in the last 12 months have closed either 0 or 1 transactions. The ability to say like, hey, my services are free. I mean, that's been a no-no for the last little while, but basically that's what they were saying. Able to write your name in Section 5 of the REPC and get paid very, very, very well. That went away. I'm not exactly complaining about that. So kind of cool. What's going to happen moving forward is probably, in my opinion, very, very, very different from what's being projected by, I'm not going to say the experts, just by people that are writing about this and being very, very hopeful that commission rates are going to go down and that correspondingly, I'm not sure if that's the right word, home prices are going to go down as well. Both steps of those, it's not what you're going to see. By and large, commission rates, you hire someone because you need them, or you don't hire someone because you don't need them. When markets get tough, when homes get harder to sell, there is upward pressure on commission rates. When things get easy, when homes get easy to sell, think 2020, think 2021, think 2022, recent history until like 18 months ago. Homes got really easy to sell, and there was a lot of downward pressure on commission rates, and that made sense. But things are about to get a heck of a lot more complicated. Like I mentioned, who you work with matters, and don't be surprised if a year from now, all the articles that we're reading are just utterly dumbfounded by how commission rates didn't go down. And in some cases, if you're up for a fun read, I actually prepared a huge blog post. There's way more in depth on this. But on really what we're probably going to see and the reasons why we're probably not going to see a lot of downward pressure in commission rates. Sorry if that's an unpopular opinion. And also if the BAC is going away, not necessarily being a bad thing is an unpopular opinion as well. But like I mentioned a couple times, what matters is if you are looking to make a move in this now more complicated market in the coming months, even in the coming years, I highly recommend interviewing your agent closely, especially if you are paying them, or more exactly insisting that sellers pay them, which does lower your offer net by that amount. You probably want the best person in your corner. And in that blog post that I mentioned, I do paint some scenarios where some sellers, buyers doing both of those at the same time, doing a sale purchase, are going to end up paying for 3 transaction sites instead of 2. This is a thing. This is something that you really do need to be wary of. Things are far more complicated now, and we could be upset about it, but instead, let's move forward and move forward powerfully and operate in the market as successfully as we possibly can. But anyways, as always, anything at all that I can do to help you, please feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.